Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you, God. Um, the reason why I make so many videos and the reason why I use my voice so much, knowing that it's gonna go some points, is because I want to make sure I say these things that I guess is provoking to them. Whose name is this Perps? So obviously, governmental entities are running this program, and the Department of Defense seems to be the obvious entity running this program. But the level of PSYOPs and facade they try to create to make you believe that it's anything but this entity doing this is clowny. Like it's just like it's almost I go through comical and horror at the same time. It's a mixture of both. It's like things are just laughable with with the horror. The laughable part is the facade. In the way like these people have to act to try to get in this part of the way they're supposed to create these trickeries and deceptions to try to make you believe this fantasy, make you accept this reality they've put together that's so falsified and so clown. I just heard somebody say, "You be fisted, you fight, you did this, he'll make sure." I'm like, I know that you are literally doing things to me via this DoD technology that can do so much horrible things to me. Do you think being feasted, being stabbed, getting to whatever things, disgusting things they say, is gonna change the, like, I know what you can do to my body. Do you think whatever, and the thing, and the reason why they say feasted is because I've humiliated them in other ways. In this PSYOP they're supposed to present, they are apparently protecting children. It's like, you pay for it, right? And to hear who's saying that is laughable. It is laughable. Even when you look at these people, you're like, you're a clown. You know that as I know what you guys do to children. I know that your job right now is to try to counter what I'm going to say, that you do. You're literally living life countering the reality of what you do to children. To make me believe this fantasy. And so when they say, I'll be fisted, they're supposed to be like, oh, we just want you to pay so much for what you did as a child that you're going to be fisted. No, you're so angry that I know that you torture children, or this program that you're involved in torture children, toddlers and babies. That you think that being tortured in this way is going to block out the reality of what you're really involved in. Do you think it's going to compensate from you being involved in a program that literally doing horrible things to babies, being mean to children? This is how they think that I should be thinking. You know, I should rewire myself to think that they're going to torture me so bad that I should forget that they torture children. That I should think about, you make you pay for what you did as a child while they're involved in a program that tortured children. I'm like, you, okay. God, first of all, I thank you for being able to see this obviousness. Now give me strength, because I have provoked these losers that wanted to paint this nastiness of a facade while involved in a program that tortured children. They wanted me to look at them and say, they're so mad. These people involved in a program where I literally hear a child that's 7 years old that's being suffocated. You're going to hear that. And they're like, no, we're just so severe that we're mad about what you did as a kid in middle school while we're in this program that's torturing babies. Oh, we're so mean. We torture children, huh? That's the kind of... And so this interaction I have is with these perps contracted by these governmental entities. You'll hear that a lot of target videos have these people create a PSYOP, a facade of some sort, try to make people believe that this is anything but this massive government, but they're this group of whatever, this satanic cult, this Russian mob, this whatever bullshit. They try to make you believe this other thing, but the reality of what this is obviously is. And these perps really try to stick in that fantasy and lock in this retardation of a way they want me to be thinking of this logic. And on top of that, because they manipulate you to have this reaction to children, and you recognizing it for the manipulation that it is. So they were, you're gonna get stabbed because they just saw what you just experienced. Well, whatever saw what I'm experiencing because you manipulate my brain to experience that, it's not going to make me accept. It will identify with this manipulation that I clearly hear them do that. I clearly can hear that this tactics of manipulating the brain is commonly used, that this technology can make people experience reactions designed by these entities to experience. And so I'm like, listen, I know what I'm saying is not going to change what's going to happen to me. Matter of fact, it might get worse, because the fact that I'm provoking you by saying things that you will try to counter, to block out, it's like putting a mirror on somebody who's trying to come out with it. They start drawing this fantasy of what is reality. They know it's bullshit, but they care. And I'm like, you get this nasty bullshit storylines. Look at yourself for what you're really part of, you nasty clown. And so this person, I'm going to make sure you're going to be suffering. It's like, yes, okay. God give me strength for the suffering. But I'm not going to let you live your fantasy. You're disgusting trash. From the bottom of my heart, I see you for the trash that you are. And I know you're nothing. To me, what's happened to me, it's like, it's a weird feeling. When you see Perps, this Perps is supposed to make me forget the true sources of who put me in this program. That's why perhaps the facade is the facade that I'm seeing, of this like progressive feminist group of like, disgusting. Because the people who put me in this program, extremely conservative. They can't even say a name of an alleged pedophile, somebody who's picking up kids when it was 35, picking up kids as 40. It's just embarrassing, but it's humbling. It's honor. Like, to me, it's like, I'm so thankful I have this to bring me back to reality. I said the name. Hey, say Roy Moore. You see them try to say that name in different fashion and still try to be fair. It's like, why can't you just clearly say his name? Is it because you try to be so mistakeful? Clown, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me now think about who put me in this program, what this program is really about, why they're doing this thing to men, women, and children all around the world. And you want me to believe this fantasy while manipulating me in these ways, to react this way toward children. Then try to make me acceptive of it. But I said, no, what matter to you? I was like, it's trash. You're a bunch of lowlife who've been forcing people to have reaction toward children. Using this EEG cloning, hair dyeing. I know it's even annoying to them, me saying this. Because some doctor and some people who specialize or have talked to multiple target individuals have finally put things together. And it's like, there's this technology, which some call EEG cloning, hair dyeing, where it's the ability to capture the neural network, manipulate it, and put it back in your brain. For you to experience what you want, what they want you to experience. And manipulation and thought process are being manipulated. And they're not just monitoring what you're experiencing, they are manipulating what you're experiencing. They can grab your stuff, your neural network, change it up, put it back in your brain, and you're going to experience what they want you to experience. Now, me saying that alone is provoking. Because it just like validates me. Because what I just said is not my words. It's something that just literally can have continuously brought up. Can you imagine being a person who's tasked to paint this false reality? You yourself have been training yourself to think in this fantasy-like way, this comical way. You involved in this program, and you just like, you go into this character mode. And I'm here, it's like, stop the character. You're a clown. It's like, people. It's like, yes, I destroy your deluded reality. There's this man talking about first cousins and something like that, cousins being together. It's like, yeah, it's forgivable when it's like you between like 12 and 16 or something like that, saying some age. And they try to bring some things up. And they try to, first of all, talk about me in middle school, the damn thing I did to myself as a kid. I was like, really, you think that's what should be thought of? Because that was just an impulsive act of a child doing something once and never done it again. And when I mean child, just middle school, just turning 14 or just turned 14. Just to be clear, and they don't like that because they want me to see things in this fantasized reality. Just to give you a glimpse of what the age we're talking about. We're talking about people in the age of around this, right? Now this is a moment. Excuse me. A child of that age doing an impulsive act. Never happen again. But what this things that happen multiple times or kept happening a few times in one way or another that stayed in my mind, and it's not the way they want things to happen. So when I was actually an older teenager, not an adult yet, but an older teenager, 16, 17 years old, I had like a fling kind of thing. Not a fling, but just like, a crash of some sort. And things happened multiple times, one way or another. And it was something that's really stay in my mind. And I made videos about it. And they don't like that. They hate the fact that this is something that's, I bring up, because they even get frustrated. They start making noise campaign. So I was with this person, me being a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, with somebody who was 10 years older than me, making her an adult when I was not. They hate that. Why? Because it's the things that they want it to be reversed though. And this person, let's just say, I'll call it Ari, and somebody I kept speaking about and thinking about a lot. And when this person talks about this should be more of that, because that's something that happened multiple times. That's something that was thought about a lot, and dwelled on a lot. Oh, by the way, this is this individual. And matter of fact, this person has a scar somewhere because of something that was happening. Now, these perps they don't like this, where reality is something they try to repaint. And they tell me, we'll make sure that these people, they just live. Because when this person was talking about it, they tried to make me think, because they said something is forgivable when you're between 12 and 16 to do something with you. And they try to make me think, it's forgivable. Like, listen, a child in middle school doing some dumb thing in impulsive, that's what a child is capable of doing. Listen, I know I'm talking to people who literally torture children. They have obviously an agenda that's disgusting. So they're going to try to hold on things however they can to paint it in this different fashion. Can you imagine they're the ones saying, pay for it, when they're involved in a program where they torture children? You're going to hear the torture of children. But what they would try to erase is this little situation I had here with somebody who was 10 years older than me when I was 16 years old. When I was an older teenager, or more closer to adult thinking teenager. To the point that this person has a scar that indicate the day there was something going on. They hate that. One guy get frustrated, start slamming the things. Like, you think you slamming these things gonna change reality? And so they're like, no, we'll make sure that you be tortured, raped, and tortured. It's like, listen, there's a background picture of mine. You see that person. You can see a scar somewhere here from that day, which happened again. Do you see how fake works? I mean, there's so much that validates that you try to paint reality in this different fashion. Make sure that whatever happens to me, but it's not going to change reality. I say things that are so obvious that I want them to start thinking, man, this guy is such a prophet because he said the obvious things. These people live in a reality that's so falsified. They do things to try to counter things that's so far. For example, this person just say, pay for it. Try to talk about me as a child. That age. Doing whatever impulsive thing I did to myself as a child. Of course, I'm looking at it as an adult. I was like, and of course, it was not an appropriate act, even if it was a child, but it was a child. With the impulsiveness of a child. Now, I'm not talking to people who are here I'm talking to people that torture children. So the people saying pay for it, they're going to counter for it. You know what they're going to counter? They're going to counter the fact that they torture children. So this A kid doing something dumb, never think about it, nothing. Never even think, never even dwell about it. It just never ever even came in mind again. Me, as an older kid, closer to adulthood, 16, 17, obsessed with this person. Think about it even in my young adulthood. Then involved in a program that does these things, that literally torture children. Things like that.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism.
Yes.
And she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic. And they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would often do is to threaten me with severe sexual torture.
Oh, hold on. This is
Threaten me
7-year-old.
with severe sexual torture. As they often do. Saying, ow, and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way
with
that
autism.
I do when I am being more severely suffocation. Both of these girls who also has Down syndrome straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. And I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in
Sexually torturing 7, 4, 5-year-old kids with mental handicaps. Oh, this woman talking about her and her young child being used as test subjects and dealing with damage and torture.
And I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70.
This is in 2011, bioethics. This woman comes in with so many other target individuals say, this is happening not only to me, but me and my young child are being used as test subject, and this is happening to me. There's continuous testimonials of families, of children being tortured and being involved in this test subject, this human subject using program to develop this technology. And you hear this bottom feeders try to counter that because that's their job. So I don't even identify them as people who are truly responsible for what's happened to me, but doing their job of creating this facade and PSYOP. It's like there's a distance between them and me that I don't connect with this. They tell me how everybody hates me. It's like, yes, I'm a target individual. That's what's supposed to happen. I understand the protocol. They tell me your teeth, you're going to lose your teeth. Yes, they decay teeth, the whole family. There's a testimony of the whole family having problem with teeth, decayed teeth, losing teeth. This is the vision, blindness, all that. Handicapping, back broken, paralyzed, all of that has been said by others. Their job is to counter that and paint this PSYOP that will never let them leave this fantasy. Me bringing up these things is provocating to them that I can be like, you wish that this was not real. But you involved in a program where you hear this children being tortured, want me to pay for what I did when I was this age, which you have to exaggerate. And you who are mean to children in this disgusting ways, mean to children to the point of torturing them sexually, are going to make me pay. Thank you, God. Whatever horrible things I'm going to go through, it's going to be bad. But there's been indication that certain things have happened to people really involved in this. Listen, I don't care to see what they go through. I don't care. I truly don't. I don't care if tomorrow they lose it all. Tomorrow they want to be suicidal. Tomorrow they die. They lose. Like, that doesn't faze me, because they're just bottom feeders. I'm so disconnected with what they want me to see them as, because they want me to look at them. Yeah, I'm gonna pay. It's like, you're just a clown. I know what you truly. They even make their voices sound certain ways. They even create tonalities. Then I see them in person, it's like, oh my gosh, you're even more of a clown. And they think that you're gonna act. One person I wish I could get to see again, because now I know how to navigate with her. I'm not gonna be aggressive, because I'm not a rubber card. You know what I mean? Because this is a man who lost his mind and ended up killing. But I just want to make sure that she sees herself over the shit that she is. And she's gonna try to counter the reality of what she's part of. You know, this man then said something about this thing is a top tier one. You know what? As soon as I heard top tier, it brought me back to the reality that obviously the Department of Defense runs this program, which the Department of Defense, the DOD, which runs this program, was ranked 19th out of 2,900 for the most child porn trafficking, ranking them as a top tier network for trafficking the most child porn. Top tier. In every ways. It's like they've been warned that you're gonna be a clown. You're gonna be you're gonna minimize any intellect that you have. And this unfair thing that you think is unfair, because these facts of them torturing children, working for governmental entities who issue pedophilia, the fact that they came and said the name of this pedophile, the fact they torture children, they manipulate the brain, is not fair. It's like, it's fair. Because you were supposed to make me believe that somehow you're not doing that to me, that somehow you protect children, that somehow you protect women, so somehow this is your money. And every level erased. Now you tell me how I'm going to be fisted and being tortured. Like, okay, fine. We're talking about technology that can fry your ear organs. Somebody fisting you is, I mean, I don't want to go through it, but you can fist me with 25 fists. It's not going to change the reality. Now God give me strength, because I'm provoking people who want to delude themselves in this false reality. And they're going to make sure they'll see to it that whatever happens to me, happens to me. By the way they're going to see to it, they're going to have this trash, which I call them trash. They're actually children. But they're trash because, unfortunately, the parents or whoever is responsible for them are guiding them to say that I raped them, to frame me, so they can see to it. You see how much they care so much about their children? That they will guide their children to say things like that. And then the deluded, it's like, no, it's going to be our murder. It's like, wow, target individual. What's happening to you is happening because of this DOD entity. Whoever end up finishing, if I get stabbed, I'm not going to look at the person who stabbed me. It's like, oh, you're the one who killed me. I wrote a suicide letter in 2019. So I know who's murdering me, who murdered me. It's these people in the DOD that's murdering men, women, and children all around the world. The rest is just formalities and just like theatrics. And this trash that sell their own kids to do these things and then say, oh no, we're protecting our children. Go do this. Watch how your children grow up too. And this children are to counter, to restrict the reality. It's like, oh, it's gonna be our murder. It's like, oh, trash, you can't even say Roy Moore. You know whose murder it is. You're just a sad, pathetic low life that that you've been guided to say these things. Trust me, you're not brave. You're a clown. You're sad. If your parents cared about you, care about your future, I reassure you, they will not be out here guiding you to say these kind of things. But they're opportunists, and this opportunity is gonna come at a price. And I'm glad that this low life lives this life. Target individuals see these things for what it is. These people might be the one implementing, but they're just the bottom feeders. They're just the trash. They want to feel empowered. In my death, I will never think, oh my gosh, these people from apartment 1145 or whatever, 11C, are the reason why I'm dying. 25B is they're just trash. I've disconnected with this false reality. that they want you to accept. Matter of fact, I take pictures of them. It's like, look at these people. These are the clowns that are supposed to make you accept these things. Yes, they're participating. Yes. If somebody end up doing something to you, trust me, see them as just like just nothings here that try to create a fantasy, a theatric of torture, a theatric of reality. It's gonna be theater. And these clowns and children just living their fantasy, involved in a program that torture babies. But it's like, no, because we're gonna pay somebody to stab you. It's like, what, really? What's happening to my organs right now? Who's stabbing me? See things for what they are. I will never let them live their fantasy. They're clowns and trash working for governmental entities that torture children. They're just the bottom figures for these entities who issue pedophilia. And so if there's, and so whatever way they want you to get you to think, for me, it's going to be a theatric of things happening to me. A theatric. If anytime I want them to see themselves for what they are, I say roll more in their face and let's just see how you going to react. It's your murder. Come on, say something. I know. Till my target individual, stay strong.